Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Falskallan Nights and welcome to Dire Bear. Hope all y'all are having yourselves a good night because these guys are going to have a fun time. Before we start the game, we're going to go through a couple of announcements. I want to thank Heath at Lucky Dice Cafe in Huntsville, Alabama. If you're ever around and ever want to play a game with him, he's an excellent DM and absolutely good friend. We also want to thank D&D Beyond for sponsoring our show and giving us all the character sheets so that we can play around and figure out how to build our characters. We'll go through a couple of the shows that are running this week. Mondays is the Troubleshooters with Heath as the DM, so if you ever want to check out how he DMs, that'd be a good show to have. Tuesdays is World at War with Jason. Wednesdays is with this guy. Thursdays is A Knight's Ransom with Maddie running the show. And normally we would have a Friday and a Saturday show, but both are on break. Actually, same with Varenheim, which will start up on Halloween. So if you guys have nothing else to do, drop on by and watch out for a spoopy stream. Apparently, I heard a couple of rumors that some people are dressing up. Anyway, let's get to the show. With the group fighting a pride of griffins and nearly getting their asses handed them, they were able to fend themselves off with a couple of clever little things that Spleen had done by breaking the lower jaw of the larger griffin and breathing down a dragon's breath right down its gullet, scaring it off and scaring off one of the younger ones. One of the more prideful ones had actually stayed and met its own demise. But with that, the group found themselves quite haggard and needed a place to rest. So they set themselves up at a campsite and talked for the whole night, learning about each and every one of each other's backstories, understanding who they are and where they came from. But now, with the sun rising on a cloudy day, they'll make their way to Menastar to see how terrible this hill giant problem is. Let's begin. So, you guys wake up and it's a cloudy day. It's a bit gloomy looking and a little bit of a chill in the air. Kind of not typical for a summer day, but it's the morning. It might warm up, it might not. You guys tear everything down. The wind is kind of blowing semi-hard, but everything's looking up. What do you guys do?
Change
Fine.
some prepared spells.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Please, somebody. The awkwardness is killing me.
I'm going through prepared spells.
I do a yawn and a big stretch.
Big stretch.
Oh, my shoulder just popped.
Oh.
Ooh.
I'm okay.
You know, Spleen would probably actually sleep in.
Yeah, Spleen got pretty fucked up there. Going through prepared spells. What is Halsterian doing?
He'll be cooking breakfast if no one else is.
Ooh, what you cooking?
It's probably some robin eggs I found around camp.
You found ramen eggs.
Oh, ramen eggs. No,
Ramen
robin
I
eggs.
heard
Robin
ramen
eggs.
eggs as well, and I'm like, wait.
There are no weebs in Falskallan.
Ramen eggs. Oh, well, that you know of.
They apparently eggs or noodles lay eggs now. So yeah, I mean,
Ramen eggs. Uh, Make a survival check.
let's see, that is. Oh yeah, forgot I had a -1 there. So 9.
Ooh.
You hear a lot of bird chatter throughout the air. It is the morning, and birds are always up. It's just a thing. You're looking up and around, trying to find everything, and you just can't seem to find anything on the branches. Those robins or any other kind of birds really hide their nests well, even though they might be in obvious spots.
All right, I'm gonna Eldritch blast a tree.
Make an attack roll.
Oh, rolling well tonight. 14.
I mean, it's a tree. It's not gonna roll for damage. Where are you hitting in the tree?
Uh,
Like, are you going like full ass trunk, or are you going like on a branch, right on a joint?
I
You just
believe he would go for the trunk.
go for the trunk. Okay. So, what is it that you're aiming to do? Like, other than
Shake
Eldritch,
whatever's up top out,
roll for
whether it takes
damage.
down the tree or not.
Roll for damage.
You're hangry in the
Uh,
morning, huh?
yeah, I certainly am. Uh, before I do, are the multiple blasts required? And if so, should I be rolling both?
I don't know. How hangry are you? It's like you're the one who's making the decisions here. I'm just explaining what they'd look like.
I rolled a d20 and it's above 10, so he's pretty hangry. So the first one was 4. Second one is 10.
It's basically kind of like Goku doing a Kamehameha against a tree. You just see that it wasn't a rather large tree to begin with. It was like a beech tree. It was harder wood. You make a sizable dent into it, and basically it's kind of like, here's the trunk, here's the chunk you took out of it. And you definitely shook what was in there out just by pure concussion. And as you do, about, I think you scared off about a 30-foot radius of birds just by that alone. Because nobody's expecting an Eldritch Blast that early in the morning.
Well, they're gonna have to expect a couple more because now I have targets.
All right, then roll for an attack. But here, with this, I'm going to describe what kind of birds come out of that tree,
Okay.
and then you decide what target you want to pick. So as the tree shakes, You see a bunch of orange, lightly speckled birds flying right through. The couple with nice brown wings and a nice red chest coming out. Another pair of birds, very vibrantly blue.
Hmm.
And a couple very small birds that are like super yellow. I was gonna say red. Yellow. Super yellow, black stripes coming down, and a couple speckled spots all over.
Hmm. I'm gonna go for the blue ones, actually.
Blue ones?
Yeah.
Roll to hit.
Let's see. I can never remember if Eldritch Blast is one roll for each one or not, actually, now that I think about it.
It's a roll for each.
It is a roll for each. Okay, so first one's 13.
Okay.
And the second one is 24.
You fire the first one, and it shoots wide. But the second one, immediately just there. Shoot. Just see an explosion of feathers in the air.
Well, I'm going to watch where it lands and go over to it, see if I can pick it up, and if there's anything left to cook.
The funny thing is, you don't see a body.
Yeah.
You straight up just exploded the bird.
You just see the feathers just.
You're all hungry, because I still am.
Just
The
like
feathers are just floating down. Whatever's left of it.
I
How
don't
would
think
you?
I'm going to have any
eating
use for charred
dry
feathers.
ration, just like
Yeah,
Howard's
I
fucking
am
hungry.
still waking up. I'm mostly awake after the Eldritch Blast, but I've
Yeah.
decided to just observe.
Like, the sound of an Eldritch Blast isn't like a gunshot. It's just very much.
It's still not something I was expecting first thing in the morning, so I'm just kind of sitting there like, huh, okay.
In my eyes, I would imagine it as like a lightning that isn't like super concussive, because you're basically superheating the air, firing something right through it, and then
Yeah, it,
whatever's out the wake will immediately just create a negative pressure zone. So it just be
like it
Small,
crackles.
small sonic boom.
basically. But
Yeah,
as
I've just been sitting back watching the show. I was like, should I help him? And I'm like, nah, he seems like he has it handled.
but
I DM, are there any eggs left in the trees? Or in the tree that he blasted?
well, he blasted the tree. Nothing really came out of it. He only hit the trunk, so whatever's in the tree is still up there. Maybe.
Alright, I guess I am going
Pre-scrambled for your
to.
leisure.
I'm sorry?
Pre-scrambled for your leisure.
Yeah, sure. I'll climb the tree and see if there are any eggs left.
All right, make a nature check.
There. My nature is +3. I got a 13.
13. You get up there. It takes you about a half hour to really look and find something. You see the nests, but not a lot of eggs. But after about the fourth nest that you hit, you find 3 eggs.
Okay.
They're fairly like small, bluish in texture with a couple of like red spots all over them.
I recognize them as delicious ramen eggs.
Ah,
And
the ramen bird.
uh, the spotted ramen warbler.
It's a common warbler in around this area.
And I bring them back to the fire.
That you do. Another 5 minutes of getting down, making sure you're not catching anything on the branches and the twigs, and you get them to the fire. Describe how you cook them, or how Steve cooks them. Describe what you guys do.
I'm wholeheartedly pretending this is all part of my morning calisthenics now.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
You guys really wanted some eggs, huh?
We were on a mission.
Steve woke up and chose violence and made it everybody else's problem.
Yeah, especially the birds.
And you cook up the eggs. They're not exactly delicious because they're not free egg, but I mean, it gets the job done.
It's enough.
I'll take it.
Hey, Spleen, you awake yet?
Just face down in the dirt.
I figured it would be like on your back with like one leg and one arm up, just.
It's like twitching.
I wonder what she's dreaming about.
Murder! A murder most foul.
Oh, boom.
Hey, Hal, let me see that stick over there. That long one.
All right.
Gently poke.
No response.
Make a perception check, Spleen, at disadvantage.
That's really good. Let's see what the other one would be. That's still really good. 19. Wow.
With a disadvantage?
Yeah, it was an 18 and then a 15. Yeah.
Well,
I was hoping it would be bad.
You're really at a good part of the dream, and then you feel like somebody's poking you, like especially in the dream, like somebody's just like with a stick poking you, and it feels real. It feels really weird, real. And you're starting to smell the eggs. You realize you're coming to consciousness a little bit.
I go
I-
over and wave my plate of eggs in front of her nose.
Almost like when a cat will wake up with the smell of something, like eyes open, pupils go instant shoot, and just reach for egg.
As she reaches for it, I quickly move the eggs back into my mouth.
Oh,
Go.
oh.
Damn.
How badly are you going for that egg there, Spleen?
Not that bad, but now she's gonna be looking for any other food option, and is that stick still near me?
I don't know. Howard.
Hovering? Yeah.
She's going to snap her teeth closed at like seeing Briny put the eggs in her mouth, and then see the stick and bite the stick.
A worthy substitute.
Okay, you can have it.
mhm.
And it tastes like a stick. It's just a twig. It's very fibrous and not exactly.
I throw it back
Delicious.
at Howard.
Okay, I'll keep it then, I guess. Yeah.
Food. People are still blown up.
You want some rations?
No, I hunt. I hunt.
Oak doke.
She's gonna go off and just go hunt for meat.
All right, make a survival check.
Something in my eye. 19.
19. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is we're just gonna speed this up so we can actually start getting into a game. As much as I'm enjoying the morning routine, there are story beats here that I have to keep here, Missy. So you head out. You head out into the forest, understanding how nature works and whatnot. There's gonna be things moving around, so you sit and you wait. You listen, looking back and forth. You're waiting to hear that one specific bush bush waggle or like a twig snapping. 10 minutes go by, 15, and then you hear shh, shh, shh. You recognize small creature northeast. You immediately just like pinpoint where the rustling is. As soon as you do, rabbit jumps out. Just whoop, just going in, goes up to a berry juniper berry bush, just starts nibbling on the leaves, goes back down. Just it's slowly walking. It has not recognized your presence.
Alright. How far am I away from it?
You're about 20 feet.
Okay. Any other, like, foliage I can be hiding in and blend in with?
There are a couple bushes here and there. It's still like trees sprouting, trees still in between, so you could probably still like go up and around, but you're there. So yeah, there's a lot of coverage that you can get around.
Okay. She's feeling really handsy. She's gonna get up. She's gonna stealth up into it, probably about 10 feet.
Yep, and it's you've done this many a time before, being on your own in the wild, let alone hunting for the clan. So you're walking right up, just walk, 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 walk. You're about 10 feet away.
With your own theme music?
Yeah, she's gonna, depending on how, if it hears her when she gets up to 10 feet, she's gonna get a little bit closer, close enough that she can pounce and get her hands on it.
Yep.
Feeling really handsy.
It's still nibbling. It's looking back and forth. Its ears are going, but it doesn't look like it's still alerted to your presence.
Right. I want to pounce on it.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand. 17.
You jump, knowing that moment when to go instinctually comes in. The adrenaline pumps up. You go right for it. You jump. It jumps, and knowing where a rabbit will normally go, you immediately put your hands to where it's going to be instead of where it was, and you got it in your hands.
Right it
And-
on the, down in his spine.
and you do so,
And his
and
neck.
you got yourself some rabbits.
Yep, I keep it in my mouth and I run back to the group.
By the time you run back, I assumed you guys are already packed up.
Yup.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go at that point.
Excellent. So with everybody fed packed up and ready to go. Ministar is still about a half, 3/4 day travel.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys immediately get yourselves back on the road. And off you go. Walking through, you're still going through farm fields. You get the odd forest outcropping here and there. Sometimes it goes over top with a nice thatching. Uh, Lots of maples, oaks. It's very much like 100 acre woods from Winnie the Pooh. Is what you're seeing. So not exactly well kept, but it's still manageable. The road bumpy, definitely meant for caravans, or wide enough for caravans, but it's been fairly quiet. You're keeping an eye out on whether or not you're hearing that the pride again. You think you do, but you don't see anything. Could be paranoia, could not be, who knows. It's always good to be careful. But nothing. Nothing comes up from it. About lunchtime goes by. The clouds have broken. It's now sunny again. Partial clouds coming in, and the breeze died down. So you're feeling the heat. It's a hot and sticky day. Not exactly comfortable. But you guys still keep on trucking. And around 12, at around 2, 3 o'clock, you start cresting in through a bunch of rocks and hills combining themselves in together, nice moss coverings, and there you find it. You see the town. It's a small, quaint town nestled in between a set of hills and rock formations, with a shallow river and creek running through it, making the perfect spot for rest. Log houses that meld into the hillside, and a small water wheel connected to a large mill structure. It looks damaged, though. It, yeah, it looks as if there was just a giant hole put right through it. There doesn't seem to be a lot of movement in the town except for odd bodies moving in between the buildings themselves. It's quiet.
The hole through it is like through the side of it?
Yeah,
Okay.
through the side of the mill looking building.
It's a little odd. As we get to the edge of town, I'm gonna find someone nearby and ask them what's up with the big chunk of missing building.
Make a perception check.
Oh, just not the best. 8.
8.
Yep.
You guys are walking through town and you're trying to look, and it's not exactly, nothing is really popping out at you. And then all you hear is, "Psst, hey, what are you doing in the open?" You turn around, and in beside one of the houses that kind of meld into the hill, you see a halfling man sticking his head around a barrel. So it's kind of like he's kind of cornered himself, per se, between a barrel and the hill, which kind of goes at a steep grade. So it's just it's kind of one of those natural barriers that kind of come in. And he's an older gentleman, balding. You definitely see the tufts of hair going out to the sides, but that's about it. Clean shaven and wrinkly face, but he's got piercing blue eyes. Hey, what are you doing?
Walking?
What are you doing out in the open? Get out of the open!
Why?
giant. That thing keeps coming around here every couple days. It hasn't come by yet. What are you doing? Get out!
I'm gonna look
Oh,
around.
we're in the right place then. We're here
I
to
don't
kill
see
that
it.
fucker. Haha. We're here to
Okay.
kill it.
And Howard?
Looking around. Do I see it anywhere?
You're looking around. Normally, what you know of hill giants, you'll hear them before you ever see them. You're not hearing anything.
Smell them before you see them.
That too. Depending on how powerful the sniffer is. Somebody with olfactory disease is a very lucky person to be around during a hill giant situation.
So it's been troubling town often?
Every couple days. Now, I don't know where it hasn't been around in a while. It's kind of scary at this point. We don't know what's going on. I still think that you guys should not be out in the open.
I mean, if you're expecting it back, why don't you help us set a trap for it? We're here to hunt it anyway.
It's, you see me? I don't deal with that.
Uh,
Why?
uh,
This is why we asked somebody else to deal with this.
Uh,
Get out of the open! He just comes out, he just grabs you by the hand, and he just starts taking you. It's like, God damn it, just coming!
Okay, I'll walk with him.
And it's very much just like a small dog trying to pull a big human. Where, like, right at the end of the leash, just
Feet moving real fast.
yeah, he's moving real fast, and you're going through the town. You're going through the town left and right, and you don't know exactly where you're going, but you immediately see a 2-story building that's just off the town square, overlooking the river. And he's like, "Just gonna take you to the tavern, and we'll deal with all this in there. Just come on with me."
Where?
Is he dragging us with him or just Howard?
Well, he has Howard in hand.
Yeah,
Howard's
just
not
me.
Going
really
with.
doing that. You guys are kind of just, I don't know, what are you guys doing?
I leisurely follow along.
I look at the others, shrug, and follow along behind Hal.
And
Spleen is it will follow.
Spleen will follow.
She's gonna keep a lookout for that giant.
So he's got your hand. You're taking him through the town square. It's not exactly a large town to begin with, so you can get through it in about 10 minutes of walking. But nonetheless, you see a 2-story building that's kind of half melded in. It's looking the thing. I know I've already said this before. I'm just doing this for my own brevity. Breathe. And he pulls you right up, knocks on the door 3 times, and he just says, Linster! Linster! We got guests here! Come on! Open up! Come on! As you do, you open it up, and you see this halfling woman, older woman, almost at the same age as the man. And she just looks up. All right, come on in. Let's go. Come on. You guys walk in, and the smell of food is just amazing. It smells like a restaurant. Something fresh just got cooked. And you pull up, and you notice that there's a lot of people in this tavern. But as you're walking in, you start looking around, and you realize that it's kind of like your classic log cabin, but it has a second story, and when you look up, you see onlookers on like a balcony sort of thing, where the second story almost looks as if it were an inn as well. You look over to one of
Is
the corners, and it looks as if there's also a general store in it as well. It looks like it's a catch-all. She
so
looks.
is oh, go ahead.
No. You say your thing.
Just asking her, is the whole town holed up here?
No, not the whole town. There's a whole lot of people still out in their farms. They're stubborn not to leave, and I mean, I understand they don't want their cattle, their sheep, or anything else just going. Uh, my name is Linster Humblebridge. Welcome to Humblebridge Inn.
Thank you.
Now, I know the crotchety old bastard out there is really ornery about getting people off the streets, but I mean, you can't really blame Herod. It's what he does. He cares.
I mean, it makes sense. But
Yeah.
well, I should start from the beginning. We were hired to come take care of your giant problem.
Excellent. We sent that out a couple months ago. Kind of surprised nobody really came by, but we're thankful that you're here and here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna feed you first because you look like you're hungry. She slaps your belly because that's all. That's
I mean, I'm okay. Hal looks
she's at height.
starving, though.
Good. Come on in. We'll feed you and we'll talk. Okay? What are you
Sounds
gonna
like a
have?
deal.
Yeah. Just she looks up, looks at all of y'all, just yells, "What are y'all gonna have?" Realizing, never mind. I forgot that we don't have options here. You're eating what I'm making.
Okay. That works.
I find these terms acceptable.
Sorry, I just had to make a note that was obvious. You guys get pulled up to the bar, and it's really nice looking, actually. It looks like this place is really well maintained for a good catch-all, and everybody around is just humbled hushes and very quiet to begin with. You get the general sense in the area that it's not so much as afraid, but a well-deserved caution. And so she jumps up on a stool, immediately pours a bunch of ales. Doesn't matter what. She didn't ask. Who doesn't care? She's feeding you, and she's liquoring you up. You're doing it. And you get the sense. Okay, da. Points to you. Stew, and stew. Got it. And she comes out, and the smell of the stew is just absolutely mouth-watering. You get the hint of potatoes, carrots, celery that have been stewing in like the brown. And you look in there and you notice like these thick cuts of meat, and you bite into them, and they're steak. It's a stewing steak, and it's delicious.
Nice.
Actually, Bryony, as you're eating, you start eating, and then pulled out the bay leaf. Somebody got lucky. All right, now that you're eating, who sent you?
Well, normally we take quests from the guild, but I don't know that such a quest made it to the guild because we've never been told about it. There's a gentleman that runs the Prancing Lizard back in Ministed who mentioned that there was a hill giant problem around here and asked us to take care of it.
Trying to actually find the owner.
Oh, I can try and help with that. Pretty sure I have it somewhere.
Was that Rakeskin Blindkeeper?
That's his
Rake
name.
Blindweaver, yeah.
Okay, so lizard guy.
The very one?
Huh. So he dealt with the first one, he never dealt with the second. Bastard.
He
What?
dealt with the first one?
There were two. Better yet, I'm gonna call over the guy who initially hunted these guys.
Please do.
Pardon?
Please do.
Oh, okay. I thought you said with who, and I'm like, bitch, what? She looks over one of the tables. He's probably out back. Just wait here. Jumps off the stool, goes to the backside, and comes back with an older gentleman. Looks like he's in his 50s. He's got rough skin and worn eyes, but you look into them and they've got that spark, like the fire, the fight, like an old fighter has. And you'd be like, this guy's seen a lot, but this guy is not going down easy. He comes out with a bit of a limp, and he's still got bandages wrapped on him, out on his arm, one on his leg, one across the chest. Looks at you. So you're the new ones. Right. Well, how can I help you?
Well, what can you tell us about the giants?
Giants. Well, there was initially two of them. They started taking cattle and sheep. And so I was able to hunt them down and, well, find them. Hunt is the wrong word, but I kept looking around, seeing what else they were taking. Turns out they were taking some caravan stuff as well. But Rakeskin came in with me. We were able to take the one of them out.
Were they separated?
The other one they separated. I don't know why. Normally they're kind of social creatures with each other, as stupid as they are. Why the second one moved off, we don't know. But first one we found, we hunted it. It did this.
I can see why you didn't go after the second one immediately.
Mm-hmm. I've been like this for about a month and a half now.
It was a month and a half ago that you took down the first one.
Yeah. The second one moved off, we thought. Until later, it started coming back. And apparently it didn't take too kindly to us killing the first one.
Has it been attacking people or cattle mostly?
It started with cattle, sheep, the odd dog here or there if it could get its hands on it. Sometimes maybe even a small child. But what happened? It doesn't come into the town, which is the weird thing, but it likes chucking rocks at us.
That's why there's a hole.
So that's
in
what
the
happened
mill.
to the mill.
Yeah. Luckily there was nobody in there, but still, it's scary. So now that's why a lot of the town folks are sticking to the center. Just so that they feel safe in here.
Refuses to come into town. Is there anything on the outskirts for it to take?
There's a bunch of farms, so grain, rivers running through, so it's got fresh water to drink. As far as I know, I was able to hunt it through the south side.
Were you able to locate any den that they were living?
No. Not. I haven't while, so I don't know what has changed.
Of course.
The first time you went out, was there any terrain that was of much use against them?
Against them, nothing really hinders them, but they tend to like the rocky terrain because apparently they like using their size to big ass shit at people.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
And everything south of here is very rocky terrain.
This probably is a futile question, but is there anything in town that could be used to poison it or harm it if it were ingested?
That'd be something to ask the farmers. Normally we have stuff that's good for pesticides, insecticides,
But nothing for a creature that large.
herbicides, but I'm normally good with hunting things of fur. Bears, the odd dire wolf here and there, but something that large and has a bit of an intelligence, I think.
Any tips other than, of course, don't get hit?
That's about it. Don't get hit.
I was afraid of that. All right.
And stay upwind.
Is it more active during the day?
Day. They actually kind of like sleeping at night.
About what time is it?
It's about 3 o'clock.
We could search for it. If we can find the den, we might be able to surprise it at night. Get a little bit of a drop on it. What do you guys think?
Well, we do have someone who might have a decent sniffer on her.
Looks at Brian. What does it think?
Oh, that hurt.
You're right. I think they meant spleen, but I could potentially help in that way.
You can become animals, can you not?
I can.
Are you telling me you can become animals? You just see, like, a dwarf just... He was listening in on the conversation, and he just finally pipes up. You're telling me you can become an animal? And points to Bryony.
I feel a little singled out, but you know what? Sure. And let's see what I want to. Ooh, okay. My body begins lengthening, my face begins flattening, and my limbs recede into my body as I turn into a snake.
Oh, you're a changer. Oh. You do realize that's all cursed, right? That's all cursed. And the old man looks at him and just says, do you really have to do this right now? You think everything is cursed. Don't mind him. He's an idiot.
I wasn't gonna say it, but you did.
All you need is like the googly eyes on top. Just
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I make the snake equivalent of kind of shrugging my head and going, eh.
get a DM's inspiration for that. That was good. I like
Okay.
that. Uh,
I'll give everyone a little bit to eat, and then if everyone's okay with it, we'll head out and try and find where the den is, try and track it down.
you
Yeah,
guys,
I turn back into a human and resume eating my food.
you guys do as such. Linster, she She comes back up. She's feeding you a couple more drinks. Just if you're gonna head out, you're gonna be full. I'm just gonna say that. And by all means, don't do anything stupid. You come back here. If anything goes wrong, I don't need any more dead bodies out there. Okay?
Now, what is your, meaning of stupid?
You
Are
shouldn't
you
answer
talking
that.
to? Are you talking to the huntsman?
The woman that said, "Don't do anything stupid,"
Okay.
or whoever said that.
Yeah, no, Linster, the old woman.
Mhm.
Yeah, sorry, Linster Humblebridge, who owns
Like,
the inn.
mhm.
Something that'll get you killed. Look,
My
it works
whole
whenever I
existence
tell
is
my
stupid.
people that. Why do I have to be so more specific to you?
I don't
Because you're
know.
talking to her. It's how many
That's the
people
case.
have gone missing?
2 or 3.
All right, we'll
But we
see
haven't checked
if
the farmsteads in a while, so not a lot's coming in, not a lot's going out. We're kind of just trying to make do with what we got.
we'll take a quick look around and see how everything looks. If we find any bodies, we'll either bring them back or let you know.
Okay, please do.
South, you said. Well,
Yeah,
he
that's
said.
what Rubor had said. Yeah, south is where it's at.
We'll start there.
All right, just if you walk about a mile out of town, there's a bridge that'll cross the river. If you do that, that'll be a great starting point.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And you guys leave.
Yeah.
Cool.
Unless there's any argument.
You got the dwarven man still muttering about curses, but it's you kind of just take it on the chin, per se.
Hey, it's nothing I haven't heard before and that hasn't been said to me before.
I'm kind of curious why we haven't heard about this through the guild. If they've been troubled by it before, we'll have to ask Glam if she knows anything when we get back.
Well, not to sound like that person. And it's not that they don't matter, but they said only a couple of people have gone missing. Normally, it takes more than a couple people to really make the news around here.
I suppose, but they've also said that they asked for help previously, and that was over a month ago, so we still would have heard something.
Bit odd for a job to not even be mentioned.
Maybe it never reached the guild.
Or maybe. No, because if they sent someone else out, we'd know that they were missing by now.
We can ask
Maybe
Maybe
Glam
it
when
went
we
to the
get
wrong
back.
guild.
We'll ask her when we get back. Let's take a look around these farms, see what we can find.
You guys exit the tavern. You immediately turn eastward, and you keep walking. As you do, the path is winding, and there isn't really a lot of fields per se, but it's open prairie sort of kind of thing. Couple trees here and there, and to the right of you, you're following along and it's actually kind of peaceful. As you keep walking, the sun is not setting, but it's getting to that time of day where it's starting to get into dusk. Or sorry, late afternoon. It's nowhere near dusk. It's by like 5 o'clock by the time you guys get out there. Sun
It's
won't be
getting
set for
easier to
another.
stare into the sun.
Yeah,
And harder to not look at it.
yeah.
Mhm.
But you guys keep going. You eventually find the bridge that she was talking about, and it's just this old classic covered bridge used for a lot of carts and whatnot. Make sure nothing gets rained on and that the weather doesn't actually hit it. You go right across it, and when you do, it's like kind of like night and day, where you've gone from a prairie side to a forested side,
Hmm.
something that hasn't been tilled or worked. And it's fairly not rocky terrain. I would say the best description I could think of is like, I want to say Muskokas, but I know you guys won't understand that reference. Well, Bryony would, but New England, a lot of the island lakes out there, or like the rocky terrain with the lakes and the trees and all the cottages.
I
Is
think I know.
there any blatantly visible damage to the bridge or the environment?
I want all of y'all to make survival checks. Better yet,
Back.
nature check, survival check, or an investigation check, whatever one is highest.
Hell, I nat
6.
20.
I got a 6. A survival.
11 for
Okay, so not 20, but for what? What did you roll for, Steve?
Oh, that was for, you said perception was an option?
Investigation,
Oh,
nature,
investigation, my
survival.
apologies. They're the same score, so I.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a total of 22
Total of
for
22.
investigation.
I got 24 for perception.
I have an 11 on either nature or investigation. They're the same.
Nature and investigation, and Spleen got 6.
Yeah, 6 survival.
You're looking around. Nothing immediately is jumping out. Yeah, nothing immediately is jumping out at you. You are looking around, and it'll take a couple of hours, but eventually you stumble upon a broken branch, and it's fairly high up in a tree, like this beautiful, beautiful, well-sprouted oak tree with a long limbs shooting out, and one of its branches is torn right off.
Well, that doesn't look like something happened with Eldritch Blast, so.
No early morning hunters were here.
Doesn't seem so. Not of our ilk, anyway.
The party has received a boon.
Oh,
Bryony you can hold your form for a few hours, right?
I believe so.
Can you shapeshift into something that would have better smell to possibly track it down?
Sure. Did a small thing or a larger thing?
Oh, become a beagle. It's a bloodhound anyway.
Okay.
Well, it's a hound at least.
My ears start to expand. I drop down on all fours, and my body starts to compress until I ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Wow.
as you do, what kind of color? What kind of color is it?
I was picturing like your standard white and brown beagle.
Okay, and you do, and she is absolutely adorable. Okay, there's big floppy ears and just
I put my nose to the ground and start smelling around the base of the tree.
All right, you start doing that. So what kind of a? All right, so we got our boon. What kind of a boon are we talking about?
Party boon.
Party boon. Yeah. So Juju, if you want to roll for that.
I rolled it a second ago just in case, and it came up with a 1. So gain D6 Bardic Inspiration die.
All right, everybody get yourselves a D6. And that'll be for this skill hunt.
Okay.
For your tracking.
Well, I rolled a 3.
So you rolled a 3. So oh, is that so?
Did you?
You're starting to sniff around, right, Bryony?
Yes.
And you rolled a 3 for your
going around the base
Did
of
you-
the tree.
Did you roll that with advantage?
I did not.
Because I think canines have advantage on perception for smell.
Well, I just rolled again and it's a 5.
Oh wow.
Oh,
So I think you have DM's inspiration as well.
You have a DM inspiration and a bardic inspiration.
so you could roll
So-
a D6 and what was the DM one? D12?
No, the D12 was from the wilted
Oh,
berry,
that's right.
the elderflower and the wilted berry.
What do I roll now?
Just roll 2d6. I know we're throwing numbers at you. Just go. Math.
Rocks. I just rolled another 4.
All right.
So I have a 3, a 5, and a 4.
A 3, 5, and a 4. So 8, 12.
12.
Yep.
Do you have a bonus to that?
What?
A modifier?
Yeah.
Did you add your modifier?
What's your modifier? Yeah.
Modifier on what?
Dog.
For
Perception? Dog
perception, yeah.
Dog.
Perception.
Yeah, my
is what?
perception is +8.
Is that as the
Yeah.
dog?
I don't know.
Oh, does it add dog stat or player stat? Because the player.
Oh no. Player stats. The wisdom, charisma. Yeah, wisdom, charisma, and intelligence stay the same.
That is a
Yeah.
wisdom one, isn't it? Yep.
So it is still +8. Okay,
Yep.
so
12 plus 8. 20.
so that 20. Okay,
Holy
see?
Got
There
a
we-
dirty 20.
you got
yeah,
a dirty.
that's quite nice.
That was quite the increase.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, you scared me there for a second. I'm like, that should not be right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just for you to have just a 5. I was like, I thought you had a.
You immediately turn into a beagle and you start sniffing around the tree, and about 5 minutes go by. You're just sniffing, sniffing. You start smelling a very putrid odor.
It's not me
It's-
this time.
And it's not your typical spleen smell. But you're smelling around and it smells absolutely terrible, but it's not pungent per se. And because of your perception check and like you have the idea of how smells will fade over time. This is a fairly old track, but the fact that you could still smell it is either reminiscent of how vilely like putrid this thing smells, or it could be something else. But you look around, you smell it, and you immediately start following it to see if you can get a stronger scent. You start eventually finding a stronger scent. and you immediately see a track, a footstep. You notify the other people.
Yeah, I look up and bark once.
No. You do the. You're gonna be a beagle. You're gonna do it right. You're just gonna put. One of the clients that I deal with has a beagle, and he sees me. I say hello, and then he just starts going off like that, and it's the cutest thing ever until he won't shut up.
Oh,
My
yeah.
dog's like that. He doesn't know how to stop barking.
But either way, so you find a track, and everybody's notified.
How big is it compared to us?
You look at this track, you can fit spleen in it pretty good. It fits about a spleen and maybe about a foot more.
You know what?
Holy crap.
Mage armor. Just to get it out of the way.
That spell lasts for 8 hours, right?
Yes.
Is it like a footprint and everything?
It's a footprint, and it looks like your classic, like, giant's footprint. It's got the 5 toes. It's all
Yeah.
pointing in one direction. It's got the, like, ball, heel, and I guess
Yeah.
arch.
Yeah, Spade's gonna go and like eyeball measure what the toe I had last time to compare to this one. If it's like, yeah, I think we got a good one.
Remember, spleen, we need at least one of the toes intact. We have to return it to Rake.
Well, we could say like this hill giant was already missing a toe.
But that would leave the other toe for us to return to. I'm not saying you can't have a toe. I'm saying we need one of the toes to give him. Just one.
What? Just one.
You're free to have all the other 9, assuming that 9 is how many are left.
I wonder. Yeah. I wonder if I could have. Don't worry about it. I'm scheming. She's
Please
gonna
tell
just
me you
keep
don't
walking.
want that toe jam.
He looks so stressed.
I'm just waiting for you guys to prompt me on this one now.
We're gonna continue searching.
Yeah, let's follow that track, shall we?
I put my nose to the ground again.
Yeah.
And continue on.
And with the roll that you had, it's more than enough for you to follow. And so about a half hour goes by, and you're finding these tracks throughout, but there's an obvious trail that this thing has gone through. And the thing is, Bryony, you've caught the track, but the scent doesn't seem to be getting any more stronger.
Spleen has received a boon, and Howard is periodically starting to question her. What schemes are you crafting?
I found a gold piece. Yeah. Yeah. What? Were you talking to me?
Nope. 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 No, I was not. Don't worry about it. Nope.
Okay.
You didn't find that toe jam, but you did find the gold piece.
And how the toe jam is really good on toasted bread.
I make like
I
one of those
believe you're
dog
making that
hacking
up.
puking noises. I just go.
Yeah, it's that build of that fermented, like, sweat. Yeah. Nice salty taste. Yeah. It's a little grainy at times.
If you're looking to make me nauseous, you have succeeded. Let's move on.
If you just wanted salt, you know there are salt rocks, right?
Why would I eat a rock?
Because it's salt.
No, it's not.
It. I'll get you one when we're back in Minnesota, and you'll understand.
No, it's not. She picks up the stone. She's like,
No,
this
not
is
a.
not salt. Chunks it at him. Just general right.
Ah!
Don't lie to me.
Not a regular rock, a salt rock. It's a thing that they have that. It'll
Was
be
it
easier
an
to
elf
show
thing? That's an elf thing, isn't it?
you. More of a hunter
You
thing,
and
I
your
think.
elves and the fancy stuff and the herbs.
No, I think it's more of a hunter thing, but I'll show you when we're back in Minnesota.
I'm a hunter.
That's true.
Yeah, I know what salt is, but salt's not a rock.
Imagine a bunch of salt in one piece, like a big rock. But it's just made
called
of
big salt. It's just a big,
Yes, one of
Salt.
those.
the big salt. It's like the big daddy of salt.
Sure.
Okay. It's not a rock. It's just large salt.
Yes.
I say salt's my mom.
Howard,
It's so good.
Howard, roll a d4.
3.
3. This conversation really hurts your head. You lose a bit of your concentration, and you've got yourself a pressure headache now. Take 3 points of damage. This is what happens when an unstoppable object meets an immovable force.
And the earth is flat.
Moving on. It's coming around 7 o'clock now, and you guys have been on the trail for about an hour. About this, on the trail of this hill giant. And you're not seemingly getting anywhere. What it feels like.
Track's not getting any fresher.
Doesn't smell like it. From Bryony's old roll. I'm just counting that whole roll as the what she's smelling this whole time.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
I don't know, maybe they're wrong about south.
I walk around in a circle and then like flop down on the ground and do that dog huff.
and you do, and you turn around, step, plop your butt.
Nothing, huh?
I shake my dog head and my ears flop along with me.
I I hate to say it, but I worry we might be barking up the wrong tree, as it were, following the wrong trail.
If I were to think back at the damage on the mill, could I figure out which direction the rock was thrown from?
You guys came in from the west, and so everything that you were seeing was westward facing. From what Rubor had said, a lot of the stuff he had found when he was tracking it was south.
Hmm.
Yet he hadn't been out during the conversation with Rubor. He has gone out and scouted for it, and south still seems to be the direction. I may not have RP'd that, but you guys were told that south is.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I've got so many voices in my head; they don't all come out at once.
Yes. Me too. So many
Maybe
voices
it's
in my head.
off the trail. Although, if it's been attacking caravans, it's coming to the trail periodically. Are we still on the road?
No, you're not on the road. You're just following a trail of destruction, really. A thing, a giant walking through the forest is gonna break branches and make its own tracks and walk through. So you guys are making through the terrain, and some of it goes rough, some of it's not. You get into like a bit of the marshy lands that are there as well, but you're just basically you found a path and you're following it.
But it hasn't ended, it just seems really old.
It doesn't seem like it's getting anywhere. I'm not saying it isn't. It just seems like it.
I mean, it has to return. It would have returned to its den sooner or later, would it not?
Yeah, but how far might its den be? Thing's got big ass legs.
True. For all we know, this could have been a half-hour walk for it.
That's true. Should we keep pushing? See at least how far this trail goes.
Yeah. That's probably why it takes that's probably why it takes several days for it to terrorize that town.
Hmm.
Travels
It
for a
could be
good bit
quite
away
far.
and then travels back to C5. So
You may be right.
But
Let's
they already said it had been a couple of days, so it should be nearer.
head
also
in
true.
our direction. That's probably why these tracks are so old.
Should we
Well,
try to find another trail a little bit closer to town?
we have two real options: is keep trying this, go back to town and wait for it. One or the other.
Right.
What do you all think? I'm still curious why it won't come into town.
So the tracks, we can see the most recent, but does it look like it travels on this pathway multiple times? Like this is the guaranteed direction it likes to mainly go? Does it like much older tracks or anything that's a little bit, I guess, I don't know,
No, I know what you're
bent to the
saying.
ground.
I'm just. I'm just trying to determine whether or not Spleen has dealt with giants before. Yeah.
Me too.
You know what? No. Being a part of the Goblin clans out in the east side of Falskallan, you were more closer to the mountain bases of the Pillars mountain range.
Mm-hmm.
So any of the giants that you had seen were frost giants.
Oh.
So, and they seem to have an order to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really have dealt with hill giants.
Mm-hmm.
And from what Bryony had once explained to you guys, they're not incredibly smart creatures, and you keep getting that sense from all the other conversations that you've had about them not being incredibly smart. So, in turn, them using the same path is not exactly likely.
Mm-hmm.
Or there might
They just kind of stomp wherever.
they just kind of go where they feel.
Mm-hmm.
The direction of the path we're following, which way was it traveling on this path?
The path that you're following right now?
Yeah.
South. South. So
it was
like,
heading away from the city, from the town.
technically heading towards the town, but south. So like it's going away, but longitudinally.
Okay.
It's
Longitudinally.
longitudinally.
Little, little.
Weedle, 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 weedle.
How about we keep following it until dark? If we don't find anything, we'll camp out, head back in the morning.
Seems reasonable.
So let's keep
All right.
on trucking.
All right. I'm not gonna make you guys roll because I mean Bryony's still a bloodhound, right?
Yes.
So you're following the scent. It still smells terrible. You guys walk for another half hour up and down. You find a giant. Find a giant like rock face. It's about 15 feet high, and it looks like it's climbed over it. So you guys climb up and around. You find the path. You keep going down, and it's starting to get to sunset. It's coming down to the decision making, but you find yourself getting to a point where you're overlooking sort of a ravine and like a valley, and it's still rocky, but a lot of the trees have been kind of not cleared out, but it's just not as heavily treed and forested there. So you're seeing more open space, and from your vantage point, what you can see before the sun starts going completely down and starts getting real dark is there's a lot of derooted trees, and you're seeing evidence of rocks not being in the same spot because like there's literally a giant brown hole in the ground and like a rock that looks like it's been thrown because you see the evidence of it sliding across and just the crater marks from it.
This might be the place. Is there any area, probably hard to see some of it from our vantage point, that looks like an opening in the rock face anywhere?
No, you guys have passed the rock face. It was just more.
I mean, like in the ravine itself, does it look like there's anywhere that might be a cavern or anything?
Make perception checks at disadvantage. It's getting dark, and dark vision can only go so far.
7.
Do I make one as well?
Yes, everybody.
19.
That's a disadvantage.
Yeah, the first one was 19 on the die. Second one was a 17 on the die.
Good, because I had
Nice.
a 4 and a 5.
Natural win.
Oh.
Yeah.
Spleen, you start looking. You're hungry again.
I got a 17.
17. Bryony and Halsterian. Howard, what did you get again?
7.
7? Howard, you're looking, but you're tired from doing all the tracking. You're just not seeing things straight. You gotta sit for a little bit. But Bryony and Halsterian, you're looking and you see that looks like a spot right over there. That looks like a spot. That looks like that could be a spot. That looks like it could be a spot. You see about 6 or 7 spots that look like it could hold a giant. Whether or not it's like a couple of hills nestled within each other for a nice little like sleeping nook, or a couple of cavern-looking things. There looks to be a lot in around this area.
Well, I'll point those out to the other two, and quite frankly, I wonder if we should see if we can try and keep a lookout to see if it's coming home at this point.
Well, we should hear or smell it if it's moving. We could find an out of the way spot and wait for it. Any decent
Sounds like a good plan to me.
hidey hole looking areas?
Ones that'll hide us.
Where you guys right now, you're on top of a hill, but it's like a fairly large hill. And so for about 10 minutes you look around, you see like an actual cliff edge. It drops about 20 feet. It's not super far, but it's enough to be like, if you needed to get away in a pinch, you could, sort of thing. And you kind of figure that's the best spot given the circumstances, and it still has an overview of the ravine and the valley.
If we camp here, I have good and bad news. One, if we want a fire while I'm awake, I can make it black and it won't really give off any light. That will only stay active for an hour once I start my trance.
I don't think we need a fire.
It's up to you all.
I don't need it.
If it's all the same, I think it might be good to have you take first watch then, at least.
If anyone gets cold, let me know. We can have one going for a little bit.
If we're making camp, I will transform back into a human. Because I can't hold the wild shape for all night.
Actually, I was looking that up. There doesn't seem to be any sort of timing on it.
There is somewhere in there, but it's a pretty long time. I want to say it's like an hour plus, or it's like an hour per druid level or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's a long time.
Per druid level, though,
Yeah.
I still don't think mine would last all night. Like, I would wake
Oh
up a
no,
human.
it'd be like 4 hours.
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours.
I'm
Still, it's
probably already pretty close to my limit there then, if I've been sniffing.
Yeah.
and you guys have been tracking. When you switched out to Bloodhound, it's been about 3 hours. You still
Okay.
have you'd have a couple of hours left if you wanted to stay in such, but it's no, you're stopping. No point of keeping a tracking form.
If I could uh, remain a dog all night, I would, but I cannot. So,
Did find it, by the way. It says number of hours equal to half your druid level, rounded
Oh.
down.
Oh, okay.
Oh, then yeah, you would have been at your limit. No, well,
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea. You know what? My world, my rules. It's
That works.
like for the sake of the story and the narrative, you're not killing yourself, putting yourself into such a small form. If it was a combative form, then I would understand it being much more draining and tiring. So, who is taking first watch?
Yo.
All right, Howard. It's a relatively clear night. The day had warmed up and it got extremely humid. It wasn't very comfortable, but the night with the breeze, especially off the cliff edge, it's rather soothing. You're trying to keep a long eye out on a very dark ravine, just trying to see if you hear anything. Not really. You're not hearing anything much. Make a perception check.
18. I finally rolled something above 5.
Get better dice. Off in the distance, you hear howling wolves. You know they're wolves, but they're very far. And 1 hour goes by, 2 hours go by.
can I say I'm still a little affected by being the dog form, and in my sleep I go like, "Woo."
just you just jump on Bryony as she's howling in her sleep. But the second hour comes by, and that's the end of your watch.
Who was taken second?
Who gets second?
Well,
I'll take second.
Alrighty. So Bryony, again, the night's rather peaceful. You have the time to work on something you can. It's very, very dark out here, and the moon is half glazed, so you don't get a lot of light off of it. So at this point, you're just more or less trying to hear. And so what would you be working on?
Um, if there's enough light, I could start sewing a new patch onto my leggings.
I mean, you don't need a lot of light because half elves have dim light vision.
Yeah, and I've over the years I've gotten pretty adept at sewing in low light.
Exactly. So it's very much the same situation. You're just sewing along. Make a perception check.
Ooh, I got a 24.
24.
I love having +8 perception.
eesh.
You hear a rustling from the direction that you guys had came, but it's not like, from what you know of giants, you normally feel a rumble with a rustle. You don't feel any rumbling. You certainly don't smell it. But you hear a rustling, and it sounds like it's getting a bit closer. You look off to where the sound is coming from, and you see a torchlight.
I slowly put my sewing down and look at the light for a little longer.
And it looks like it's coming closer. It's continually coming closer.
How far into a long rest are we?
You're about 3 hours in, 3.5.
Okay, so I'd still be up.
As you start hearing the rustling getting closer, and you hear it like pretty much right outside the perimeter of your camp, just like where the bushes and the trees are. You hear the rustling. The torchlight comes in. You see a figure come right through, and it's Rubor. You immediately recognize him. Ah, that's where you are. I was wondering how long I'd have to walk in the dark.
You followed us all the way here?
I couldn't stand back. If I could at least try and help you guys, I could do it.
Well, how well can you see down there?
Well, currently it's pitch black for me.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that.
But come in the morning, I could probably point out proper positions of everything from what I've at least hunted it. Sound like a plan?
Scared the pajabbers out of me.
I'm sorry. I recognize that this is out of the blue, but I'm sorry once again.
Right. Well,
It's not.
I think oh, sorry.
It's not like I can call for you guys, and let alone I didn't know how far this was gonna go.
Well, I think my um watch is about over, so you can stay. Just don't scare me like that again. Jeez.
Once again, ma'am, I'm sorry.
I'll be
Alright.
bedding down about the time she's done with her watch, so we'll let the next person know. You should probably get some rest too.
Yeah, and you notice he has a giant pack on him, the sleeping bag right on top, and the sack. He's like, "Yeah, I'll find a spot." Quickly finds a spot, lays it down, throws the sleeping sack out. Just no cares about it. It's like boom. Immediately looks around, it's like pulls a bunch of branches and de-leaves it super quickly. Like this guy has done this for years, and it looks like it. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to do it quick. Immediately beds everything down, and he's like, "Good night." Puts the torch out, and immediately rolls it over.
And who's third?
Who's third?
I can.
Alsterian. Pardon me. You're trying your hardest to look over this ravine. It's all pitch black. It's all shades of black. As if it were just a giant whirling swirl of you trying to figure everything out. But after about 5 minutes, you recognize it's futile. So you're just sitting there. What do you do during your times of watch?
Well, Normally, I would be reading through my book, but with this light, probably just going to be looking at the stars, seeing if I can recognize any constellations.
Make a history check.
15.
15. So immediately you find the North Star, and just as always, if you're lost, always look for the North Star. And immediately to the left of it, you see the constellation known as the Sundering. And it's old tiefling folklore that had been taught to you by your super great grandfather and your father. And the story behind it being, when the worlds were created, the heavens and hells were split apart from it to ensure that there would be an even playing field in the middle. And the Sundering is when the tieflings were decided to be cast upon the world. And you see 3 dots going up in a line with 2 more. Bing ding, right there. Right there. And it forms a Y shape pretty much, but it's like a very distended Y.
Mm-hmm.
And you look around any further. The serpent. Just a cluster of stars that kind of weave. No, you don't really remember the story for that one. And you keep looking and you find others, but you're not much of a stargazer as much as you were like to look at them. But it's a fairly beautiful night. A couple hours go by. And nothing happens. You don't hear anything. It's a fairly quiet night. And your watch has ended. Good luck waking Spleen up.
That's a good point.
What was his name? Briny! Briny! Yeah!
Oh,
The exclamation point, it just feels like it's the title of an anime.
Yeah.
She'll be right back.
An anime all about Bridie. But in order to wake up Spleen, prestidigitation. You smell like... is something burning? Oh no. Something very close is on fire.
Are you saying that
Just
out
keeps...
loud?
No.
That's what Does that smell wake me up?
It does not smell like a campfire. It's an odd fire.
make a perception check at disadvantage.
That's really good. So, one of them was a natural 20, and the other one was a 17. Plus 4 is 21.
You're determined to wake up.
What the hell? Let me sleep in. My dice. My dice did. Heck you.
You smell it, and it smells like a fire, but it also smells burning burning tar, burning resin. It's not that pleasant smell. It smells like whenever your clan was trying to seal up any of your boats or canoes.
Thinking of the clan and having that memory flash, she eyes wide open, looking around.
Oh, you're up. Well, convenient timing.
Careful.
My
Shush. You smell that?
You look over and you see Rhubar.
Oh yes. According to Howard and
Intruder.
Bryony, we have some company.
Yes, he's here, but we might have more company. If I'm smelling this. She's like on alert. Teeth bared, eyes.
The smell is gone at this point, by the way. It's instantaneous.
Oh, okay. But now, but she's searching for it now. You didn't smell that.
No.
Think there might be other things out here.
It's certainly possible. So,
Other goblins.
wild animals?
No, not an animal. How? There might be goblins.
Oh, I'm rethinking this later.
Gotta go home and rethink your life.
Mm-hmm.
This might be bad because I don't know how many. They like to travel in packs, you know.
Well, it sounds like you took care of a pack earlier by yourself, so waking us up once you've encountered them should be no problem for all of us.
Yeah, but you can't see in the dark.
Says you.
I can tell because I'm standing over here and you're not looking at me.
You actually have 60 feet dark vision, but if it's pitch black, I don't know if it's gonna matter.
Pitch black over a ravine
Yeah.
and valley.
Well, at least we have the terrain advantage.
We.
Well, I'll let you mull that over. I'm going back to bed.
He is going to make rounds around the camp and keep finding that smell.
Make a perception check. Actually, investigation. Sorry, you're looking for something specific. It's investigation.
Okay, investigation. That is a 7.
You keep looking around. You're just like, you go on all fours, nose to ground. No, not here. Kind of like Scrat from Ice Age. It just.
Yeah. Oh my god. I forgot about that character. Oof.
But you're not finding it. And this consumes you for the 2 watch. You're just determined to try and find this. It's not working, but you're determined to see.
Specific smell. I know what this is. No.
And as you're doing that, the sun starts rising.
Like hair is wild, just
You just wake up, Marty! We gotta go back in time!
Coming out of trance to see Spleen crazy-eyed first thing in the morning.
The safest way to wake up Spleen is to wake up after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, she's just like chomping her teeth, just on edge.
You feeling hungry?
He slowly looks at you. No. Just be alert. I think there's goblins around.
As you say that, Rubor immediately, like, he's waking up with you guys and, doing his morning routine and stretch. You say that, and he's like, goblins haven't been around this area for a while. I know, I've hunted them.
Yeah, but sometimes they tend to travel. Yeah, in the past, maybe. But now we're in the present. And I smelled something strange.
Do you remember how loud goblin bands are?
But the hunting packs, though.
Hunting packs are one thing, but they always end up with the bands, and the bands are loud.
Yeah.
If the hill giants are in this area, guess what? They're gonna find each other real quick.
Is it possible you are just having that smell in a dream?
No.
Is it possible that was just a safe way to wake you up?
It takes her a moment. What? I'm gonna kill you. She's going to lunge at you.
Okay.
No damage though. Just
Contested
tackle.
contested strength checks, because
Oh,
I'm
no.
counting this as an attempted grapple. Because you're a tiny person latching onto a bigger thing.
Oh, that's a single digit.
This is a strength check.
Yeah.
Which one's strength? It's 4. 13.
Okay, I had 8.
Halsterian, you have a spleen attached to your hip.
Yeah, she's just like shaking the heck out of you. Probably doing some small scratches on the clothes so it's just tears and stuff, and she's gonna
Oh, go ahead,
yeah,
sorry.
she's going to like smack you in the forehead.
Roll a d4, please, spleen.
Mhm.
Howard's
A
just
3.
like offering over some food to Rhubarb.
Halsterian, take 3 points of damage.
Oh.
Rhubarb looks, is like, that's okay, I was gonna offer you some of mine, and he pulls out like these giant bags of dried meats and berries.
Gladly.
He hands out, he throws one to Bryony. I was like, I'll just wait until these guys are done.
Yeah, that's probably the best course of action.
Next time, don't make me smell something from home.
Noted.
Rhubarb just looks over to Bryony. Is she always like this?
No, she's usually worse. I think she's on good behavior today.
Worse? Oh dear God.
Shut up, you. He's looking at Rhubarb.
I was waiting for it.
Who invited you?
I went through this last night with Howard over there.
He came along to help. I figured
I
there
don't
was no
want to.
reason to turn him away.
I want to help. I felt bad letting you guys go without any sort of real knowledge of the area. I know these grounds. I've hunted here. I know what's going on. As the sun starts cresting right up, the light starts filling in the gorge and the valley, and you saw everything that you saw yesterday, and you saw the points that Halsterian and Brimey had pointed out and saying that these spots could look like something a hill giant might have, and Rubor, with his experience, would be like, he points out to three of them and just immediately says, "Not likely. Not likely, not likely, not likely. These three spots, possibly. But we won't know until we actually get down there."
What you're saying is there might be giants, or they might be. Damn it. I messed that up. Never mind.
They might be giants.
They might be giants.
Which one would you
Sorry, it's been a
recommend
long
checking
day. I
first?
totally thought that was going to be funny, and it wasn't.
It made me giggle.
I had a chortle. Ha!
Ah,
So, and you look at Rubor's pack, and you notice that there's a bow and arrow set there, and he starts getting up, and he's slow. He's fairly slow. It looks like the healing that has happened is not set right,
Hmm.
especially in his leg. He's still limping pretty good, which will also explain why he came so late at night.
hmm.
And he looks up, he'd be like, "I can give you tips and tricks on the area around here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to go down and help fight it with you guys."
Understandable. And the fact that you're here at all is going to be helpful.
Exactly. I can at least keep this area supplied and ready for you guys if you guys come back.
Very much appreciated.
But here's the thing. No, wait. We'll wait till.
I'll
Yeah.
be able to still hear.
Okay.
I was kind of like,
Okay. Do the thing. As long as I know you're still listening in, is okay. The thing about this area is it's very rocky, so you can get yourself caught in a tight space real quick, but that also could be used for your advantage. If you can somehow get it to trip into one of the ravines, one of the crevasses there, you could have yourself a great spot to wail on it.
Hmm.
The trees are lightly rooted around here because of a lot of the rocks in the soil, so be able to pick things up like you wouldn't believe. Same with the rocks. Some are bedded into the ground heavy, but this thing from the last fight I had two trees thrown at me. I was lucky to at least miss one of them. So be careful.
Watch out for flying trees. Got it.
Will do.
Yes.
How is its footing? How difficult to knock it over?
Well, these things are huge. They're very, well, fat. They're wide stanced, so knocking it over is exactly easy, but they're also very clumsy. They kind of walk like a child.
Hmm.
Good to know.
So if you can catch it mid stride, you'd probably be able to knock.
And if the ground's unstable, I might be able to knock it out from under him.
That's
Get
an
him
idea.
to fall into any of these crevices. We'll just
The
have to
ground
see when we
is
find it.
flat enough rock. Yes, we could even make it wet for it, and have it slip on that.
That would
We
work.
find a giant banana peel.
Not
Just
even
start
Bowser
eating.
could withstand this.
Just start eating bananas in mass.
Lucky for me, I brought my whole bunches. Pulls out like 8 bunches of bananas. Honestly, I would recommend starting. He just starts pointing over, like, you guys are still facing southwest, so southeast. No, you're facing southwest.
Okay.
And he points out to the southeast side and says, I would recommend starting at these locations. It should take you 4 hours tops. By the time you get around noon, you could make your way back up here. We can regroup and figure things out.
All right. Let's head down there, see if we can figure out which one of these is its home. If it is home, well, I don't think that'll be too difficult to determine.
Rubor points to Halsterian and Howard. You guys look like you're academy people. Do you have any ways of communication via long ranges? I know you guys have that ability.
I don't have that capability yet. That spell. But, well, just a moment.
I'm afraid I do not.
And he's going to change out a prepared cantrip.
Cool. What's the range on message?
120 feet, I believe.
Yeah, you'd be far out of range. So he looks up. Pity.
Yep, 120.
At least when I was fighting with Rakeskin, at least he was prepared with a bunch of all these really neat items. He never left them with me. Didn't trust me with them anyway.
Well, we weren't expecting to be hunting a giant, but we're making do.
Rightfully so, like a good hunter. Alright. I'd recommend you start going now. If there's anything, I don't know what I could do to you.
Keep out of sight. That's probably the best thing you can do.
Alright. Well, good luck.
And we will start trudging along if everyone's ready.
Alright. One of you guys roll a d6.
Three.
Three.
Mm-hmm.
You guys start looking, and you go into the valley and the ravine, and it's a fair distance. You go a fair distance in, and you finally recognize the first spot that was pointed out. You start walking up, and you realize it was just it was like encaved rock, but it was just very much like 10 feet in, and it was just a large shadow that was cast. Doesn't look like anything. I would assume, Bryony, you would go into Bloodhound to try and sniff things out.
Sure, I'll go into Bloodhound again briefly.
Okay.
And I begin again sniffing around, seeing what I can find.
You look around. Make a perception check. And wait, did we determine that Bryony would get advantage because of keen sense, or
She showed us a canine, I believe. You have the stat blocks, right, Bryony?
I
keen?
have them for myself. I don't have them for canines or like any kind of wild shape.
Yeah, yeah. No, you would get keen hearing and smell because you pick up those traits to do
Yeah.
that. So you have advantage on perception checks
Okay.
when it comes to hearing and smell. So you're fairly alert.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 17.
Roll a 17. This place reeks. Like everybody could smell it. It was like a faint thing, but because canines have canines are canines, this place smells like the hill a hill giant was here. It smells like it was, and it's a fairly pungent smell. But there's no sign of it here. There's no sign of a lair. No sign of a den. No nothing. You guys start heading off to the second one. You start following the trails and path, and you're seeing the destruction, the rocks, just like this place has been sort of ravaged for no sensible reason. There was no rhyme to it. It's just quite literally, if you were walking on a trail and you saw a twig, it's just like snap, snap. Oh, rock, chuck. It's it very much comes off across as that. Just something being bored,
Hmm.
but on a large scale. Another half hour goes by, and you're walking through. It's a cloudy day again. You make it to the second spot, and it's up a hill. There's a couple spots you have to climb with the rocks, and you do that. You get up, and there's a little bit of a plateau spot, but Bryony's senses are going off like mad. It's like it smells like it has been here, but there's no sign of any sort of encampment or any sort of permanent dwelling or semi-permanent dwelling.
Hmm.
Uh, if you guys want to RP, let me know. I'm just gonna keep moving forward.
I can,
Let's keep
Do you
moving forward,
smell?
I guess.
yeah, I got nothing at the moment.
Okay, cool. Just something comes into mind, just please interrupt me. Again, you start making your way around, and you come upon what looks to be like a natural set of steps, kind of like how sometimes rocks just turn into natural step formations. So you're walking right up it. You're walking right up it. Again, Brian, your senses are going off, but it's much, much stronger. Much stronger. You're climbing up, and you get up to a point, and again, it's another little plateau spot, but it rounds around to the right, and you immediately see a cave entrance. Like it's just this giant formation that leads into a black pit that looks like your classic quintessential cave.
Oh, that'll do it.
And yeah, Bryony, at this point, your nose is going off the charts, and you're hearing a little bit of rumbling inside itself, inside the cavern space from where you are. Like, you guys are about 30 feet back, but because, I mean, I just attribute canine sensing to be like, if you could focus it into a spot, you can understand what is going there. The smell is just too much for you to handle. It's absolutely gross.
Yeah, I turn back into a human and go, phew.
It's in there.
Oh yeah, something is.
How big is the cave entrance roughly?
The cave, you're guessing between like 20 feet wide and 30 feet high.
Overhang at all? Coming out of the cliffside?
Any no, not really. It's just kind of like,
Just an
for
opening?
it's just an opening, couple rocks that are like cantilevered onto each other, and like it looks like they've been like that for millennia. Not gonna budge or move.
I had a thought. If we can lure it out onto these natural stairs, make sure the stairs are wet, and Bryony, I believe you can make a tremor happen, yes?
I do have earth tremor, yes.
So if we're able to knock it prone on a wet staircase, it will be the bumpiest downhill ride it would have had in quite a while, and it'll be at quite a disadvantage.
That is a possibility. How do we lure it out?
Well, I assume just making a lot of noise would do that. It seems to be bored. Maybe because it doesn't have company anymore. That could explain why it's not coming into town. It's just trying to pick a fight, entertain itself.
Mm. Suppose that seems reasonable enough.
So we could just yell at it. How do you plan on making it wet, Hal?
Well, we have a couple of options. Most of them include water skins, though I suppose we can bring some water up back from the. Was there any water in the ravine itself?
A couple of cricks.
Rick,
Nothing too me.
I have create or destroy water.
Oh, that would work.
That'll do.
That would work beautifully.
And Howard, if you have your ice magic, you can freeze it to make it extremely slippery.
Well, I have some.
Cast Frostbite at the same time as she casts Create and Destroy Water.
I could, but it won't affect a large area. However, I could use Dragon's Breath if we need to affect a larger area at once.
That works.
I'm starting to like this plan.
I don't have frost fingers, but Dragon's Breath would probably work.
So should we put another slippery item or obstacle at the bottom of the stairs, do you think?
I mean, if you have something sharp, we can put a spleen at the end.
That's true.
I can maybe sneak and cut the tendon on the back of the heel.
How loudly are you speaking?
Probably quietly since we're right at the
yeah.
entrance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to gauge.
Yeah.
Stage whisper.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Keep on going. Don't mind
All
me.
right. Well, Bryony and Howard can be. I'm speaking myself in the third person now, apparently. Uh, Howard and I can be at the mouth of the cave. We make a loud noise to draw it out, and then Hal and Spleen wait at the bottom of the steps to finish him off.
We could do that.
Do I have that about right?
How does that sound to
Seems
you?
reasonable.
Let's go ahead and freeze it now. Before we
All
get
right.
its attention, because that might get its attention in itself. We don't know how far into this cave it is.
All right. Well, I am going to cast Create Water.
And you do so, reaching into the stone itself and realizing where the moisture pockets are with the soil that is clumped in between each of the stone. You immediately draw it right out, and as you do, yeah, you basically water bend this thing. It just you draw it right out. You do the motions, and you're gonna lay it down onto the steps.
Yes.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
I'm going to
Okay,
be using Dragon's Breath. Breathe a few times. A bunch of frost to ice it over.
Okay, so Dragon's Breath, you can choose the element. Like,
Yeah, you
I was going to
choose
say
the element.
Chromecast, but it's Chromatic Orb.
Yeah, it's essentially the like
Breath.
Burning Hands version of Chromatic Orb. Except
Gotcha.
it's a breath.
Okay, so what level of spell is Water and Dragon's Breath?
Dragon's Breath
First
is
level.
Dragon's Breath is second.
Okay. All right, easy enough. Just wanted to make sure power levels were like, I'm going to use a cantrip to freeze all this water. It's like,
No, that's why I was like, I could probably do it with frostbite, but it's gonna take a while because it's only a small area at a time.
all right, yeah. So you're breathing. You're breathing out the frost, and as it does, instead of it being like it comes out as a billowing sheet of like snow per se. Like it's the best way I could think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you throw hot water into a really cold day and it just immediately turns into snow. It's basically that. It does that and it immediately starts going right to the ground. The water looks to be freezing. It looks like it's on the start of doing such things.
Like mush.
It's starting to get there, but it's not enough.
Okay, I will keep doing it a few times. It lasts a minute with concentration, so a few more 15-foot cones.
You breathe a couple more times, and then it finally catches. You figure because of it's a hotter day, it needed a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
It needed a couple of good solid breaths to do it.
So I don't know how long this will last. Let's get out of this entrance and make some noise.
I will have one other trick up my sleeve, actually. I just double checked my shape water.
Yep.
And, if I use it twice, since it's a cantrip, I can both form it into spikes and freeze it.
Oh.
Ooh.
The forming it into spikes, actually, both the forming and the freezing last an hour.
Cool. So
Nice.
then you'll help keep the frozen stairs solid.
Yeah, I'm focusing at the end where it will land, since I'm only able to do a 5-foot cube.
Yeah.
But it'll be a nice sharp landing.
Yep. That's you're gonna Kevin McAllister.
Oh my god, we are.
Listen, I had a plan for the giant banana peel.
We know, honey. We know. Always watching there, Bryony. Always watching.
Everyone ready?
Ready as we'll get.
Spleen, you want to make some noise?
I'm all. I'm at the bottom. So how far is that?
Let's just hold on 1 second. I'm gonna bring you to the map.
Oh, I'm a good distance.
Olivia, we'll need you to come to roll 20.
Yep, let me pull that up.
Beauty. And for the sake of it, I would want you guys to roll initiative.
Oh.
So I'll just let me know when you guys have rolled, and I will call out numbers.
You know what? I'm gonna use my D12 for this.
Nice.
Really?
Okay, so 25 to 20. 20 to 15.
17.
15 to 10.
14.
10 to 5.
9.
Oh no.
Wow. Really, Bryony?
Oh no.
Man.
And a 1 for Bryony?
I got a 3.
And a 3. I was looking down when you... Okay.
Yikes.
Alright, so you guys are doing this, you're setting this up. Spleen, you making a noise?
No.
No?
What are you guys?
Alright. I'm gonna pull out my sword. And I'm just gonna start clanging it against the shield.
Make a performance check. Advantage because you're right at the cavern entrance.
8.
Really?
I got a 7 and an 8, and I have no bonus.
That is absolutely fair. But given the natural acoustics of a cave, and it looks like it's your standard rock cave, you start going ding 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 ding, like you're literally ringing a dinner bell. What it sounds like.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And all yours. Momento. Boom. As you hear the thumping coming out, the both of you see two meaty hands grab the side of the cave, and what you see comes out before you. You immediately get hit by the stench of just rotting flesh, sweat, and just other vile things that you can only imagine.
I'm just pressing up against them rocks like, fuck!
It starts coming out even further, and you notice the jowls on this thing is just absolutely massive. The gut, rotund. This
Yeah.
this being is absolutely massive. It's at least 15 feet tall. You can only surmise 15, 16 feet. Its arms are basically tree trunks in its own right, but like the super gray flesh. It it is a sight to behold, and it is ugly. Round its mouth, it's just buck tooth, but all red and just gross. It starts walking out, and you go further down its legs. Absolute, like, units. That's all I could say. It's just
Units.
with just a loincloth covering every little bit that you find there. It looks around. What do you guys do? You have the surprise round. So, spleen.
We're wanting it to slip. And like now that I have an image, it's a lot different from what I was imagining in my head. So this is the ravine?
Uh,
Okay.
right in front of you is the stairs. Yeah, this is like a little ravine. This is like right behind you is a bit of a plateau. Right where you're standing is a bit of plateau. I tried to describe it as best I could. But basically, yeah, like it'll slide down the stairs, and it's gonna, like, whatever you set up down here is gonna land in.
Yeah. Seeing that it's standing right next to them and they have no chance of running right now and try to be, she's going to actually holler at it. Hey! Hi!
Gosh, it starts walking towards you. It hasn't seen you. It starts moving forward. 1, 2, 3. As soon as it gets there, it looks down, and you've seen ice giants, and they're bigger, but this thing just has a presence of, like, because it's high up on a set of stairs, like a natural set of stairs, it just looks big. Really big. And so you're trying to lure it forward?
Yeah, and I'm like moving backwards, like as it comes forward, I'm moving back.
It goes like that, and it'll hit the set of ice.
Yep, and I'm
It'll
moving.
make a dex save. It goes. Steps.
Oh, back up.
It's just like a very slow Bobby McFerrin falling, just.
Oh,
And
I
it
could
rolls.
just think of the hill giants from the Hellboy movie. Oh my god. I don't know if you've seen the new one.
No, I have not. So it's rolling in. It's landing. I'm gonna let you guys roll for damage because is it landing on spikes, or is it you just trying to get it to go prone?
Oh, how?
How
Uh,
you're
it's
muted.
Steve, mute.
Sorry. The tremor that Bryony was going to be doing was going to get it prone, but if it's already prone due to the ice, the spikes were going to be doing some sort of damage. But at this point, that's whatever damage that does is going to be up to you because I don't know the mechanics of falling
Oh,
onto spikes.
they don't like they don't have a damage die for the spikes.
No, it just says that I can form it and that I can freeze it, and so have it form into spikes and then froze it.
um,
Okay, roll. How many spikes do you think you could have propped up?
Uh, 3 or 4 probably, since it's 5 cubic feet of water, and up to 5 cubic feet of water.
Roll 4d20 for me.
I'm looking at
4d20. All right.
spike traps and D.
And tell me what number you get for each of them.
All right. 13.
Yep.
18.
Yep.
7. And 10.
And 10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll damage on this one. It lands, and all you hear is the crunch of the ice just... You're pretty sure you'd, it landed and it hurt. This is where we're gonna start. Unless Howard and Bryony have something to add on top before the surprise round is done.
I don't.
I was just going to be casting a spell.
What spell was that?
Melf's Minute Meteors.
Explain what that does.
It creates 6 tiny meteors in my space. In Howard's case, they would probably form in multiple points around the shield.
Okay.
They float in the air and orbit for the spell's duration. When you cast the spell, and as a bonus action on each of your turns thereafter, you can expend 1 or 2 meteors, sending them streaking towards a point of your choice within 120 feet.
Okay.
When they impact, they basically explode as a tiny fireball. Each creature within 5 feet of the spot makes a dex saving throw or take 2d6 damage.
Cool. All right. So, you cast that. You're not doing anything with it. You're just gonna hold it for now.
I'll send 2 of them.
All right. So
Two
it's
of them
down
forward.
here, and it is prone. It is knocked prone. So, like, I would think you guys would be like right there and there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you send one. So Howard, it's not within visual from where you are at the cave entrance.
Then I
It is
won't be
down the
sending
stairs.
any yet.
Okay.
I'll just be holding.
Bryony.
So it's knocked prone.
Knocked prone at the end of the stairs where you are right now. You'll not be able to see it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking and I'm seeing if this spell would like affect it all that much. I mean, it probably would. We just want to hurt him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna
Yeah, I mean, at
move.
this point.
What?
At this point.
Kill him.
Well, I am gonna move over to here, I think.
Yep.
That works. And I'm gonna cast Moonbeam.
Moonbeam.
Beam at 3rd level.
Ooh.
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 Okay. So is it a? Do you need to make a ranged attack or is it a dex save?
I don't think so. It's 120 feet. Attack save says con 16.
Okay.
That's
So it's a
what it is.
Constitution saving throw.
Yes.
Okay. So
Sense.
okay. Roll for the damage.
It's D20, right?
No, it'll say it. It'll be near that.
Oh,
Near the column.
you're right. It does say it. I forgot.
It's okay. It's
It's 3d10s.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. We'll not go with the roll in D20. You're rolling live die.
Yeah.
Live die. I love it.
Sorry, I forgot when I
click.
just clicked on it to get a closer look, but it
But
accidentally
it always,
passed a dice roll. But I'm rolling like for real dice.
Yep. No, I accept that. That's perfect.
Well, I got a 9, 2.
Yep.
And a 3.
Okay. You do that. You reach up to the moon and you throw your hand down in a slashing diagonal motion right towards the hill giant. As you do, you just see kind of like in an Evangelion moment where you see like the singular beam of light where it's just nice and thin, just
Perfect.
it goes in and it lands. It lands right dead center of the giant. You hear it wailing, and power just now. Let's get this battle underway. Surprise round is done. We're going straight to the top. Spleen.
All right. Okay. He is down there. A unit. Like, body position, like, how is he on the ground? Like, what is in front of me?
You're looking at his head. He's basically like, he fell down the stairs, he hit, and then...
How wonderful. How wonderful. Is it, like, face up?
Face down. Like belly. It's belly down, face at you.
Great. This is my little spleeny. All right. I want to climb onto the back of his head to like his neck.
Okay. That'll be that would be considered all of your to do that.
Okay. I don't know how. Okay, that's where
You
I'm
get a
at.
big old head.
I'm I'm on top of his head. And I would like to take. When do I? So, trying to think. I want to take my battle axe versatile, and on the back of the spine right here.
Yep.
I want to take a slash at it.
Okay.
Start going into it.
Okay, do that.
Yes, I will.
Make your attack.
Are you
I make
raged?
a attack roll. Meow meow meow.
Are you raged?
Oh! Yeah, you're right. Thank you for reminding me. Well, I don't know why I keep. I would like to rage. Why do I keep forgetting that? Maybe I'm internally raged inside my body.
Alright, so you're making an attack?
Yes, I would like to attack it.
Okay, make an attack.
Mark off a rage. Oh, my roll's still right there. What is that?
Do it with advantage because it is prone.
My first one's better. 23. Whoa.
Okay, that hits. That hits. Roll for damage.
Okay. That was a moment. I could, Jesus Christ. My brain's not working right today. This is 10. Okay. Ooh. 7 plus 4 is 11. 11. Plus 2 from rage, I believe. Yes.
13.
Plus 2 from rage. 13. I'll hold off on Fury of the Small.
Cool.
So 13 damage for that one. And she is going to keep forgetting if the okay, yeah, and then another swing of the battle axe as well.
Cool.
Versatile.
Okay,
Just
make
like
an attack.
I'm going.
Make an attack at advantage.
Okay. That one's not good. What about this one? That's much better. That will be the same thing at 23.
Cool. Roll for damage. That hits. Roll for damage.
Okay. 9 plus 2, 11. That's all I can do.
That's 11 damage on top of that.
Yerl.
Spleen, you run right up. You go into the rage as you jump onto the giant's back. Your hair tips go red. The mascara comes back on, and the ethereal feathers follow you. As you do. You step in, you line up, and just like a fire or like splitting wood, you just find the spot. One again, two, and as you do, each subsequent slice right at the spine, you hear the groaning and the wailing of the giant, and it tremors as you do. I would like for you to make a dex saving throw. You do have danger sense, so
Yeah.
so that's taken at advantage.
Yep. It's much better. Dex save. 18.
18. The subsequent movements, it feels like it's trying to buck you off, but that could just be because of the sizing. Nonetheless, you have yourself at sure-footed. Is that your turn? You've done your bonus, your movement, and your action. That is everything. Howard,
That's everything.
your move.
We're going to move 1, 2, 3. Down to about here. I can see it from there, yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you're pretty much at the top of the stairs. You're looking down at it.
Okay. And we're going to try something that we don't know if it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try using catapult on one of the meteors.
Oh my god.
To fling it at the giant.
Yeah.
Preferably towards its lower back / butt, so it's not near spleen.
So, catapult is just flinging an item.
Flings an object 1 to 5 pounds within range that isn't being worn or carried.
Okay.
Flies in a straight line up to 90 feet. If it
Make an attack roll, but you're not using your proficiency modifier on this.
It's a dex saving throw for 3d8 bludgeoning. Do you want me to still do it as an attack roll, or?
Well, because you're not throwing the actual meteor itself, you're using catapult as the catalyst to throw it. So you gotta aim it. That's the thing.
Aiming it instead of it being a dex save for each of them. Okay.
And then instead of you throwing a meteor at it, you're you're using another spell to throw a meteor at it.
Yeah. That's why I asked, because they're normally both saves, but it's
no, this would be for
without proficiency.
Without your proficiencies, because you're doing something new.
Okay.
You're doing something that's not within your repertoire.
So plus 4, 12.
12? You look at it, you bring your shield up, and you'll be like, all right, it's time to try this out. We got the time to do this. You hit the back of your shield, casting catapult, knowing that it's going to launch your meteor that was stuck to it further. You do so. Boom. You fire. Spleen, it fires right past you, and it misses the giant completely.
Not gonna do that again right this moment. We're just gonna use a bonus action to send 2 other meteors at it regularly.
I like what you were doing, but I was like, there's a lot of moving parts on that one. All right, double dex.
Yeah, that's a dex saving throw. Just one. Well, no. I guess it would be 2, one for each meteor.
What's the DC?
15. Oh.
I'll get it later. I know what I rolled anyway, but
I need to roll.
why you gotta be difficult? All right, so It fails its dex save. It's on the ground and it's prone, so it's just it does. You're like, okay, that was a good first shot. You magically invisibly grab both the other meteors out of the air, and you throw it. You throw it and you launch it. As it does, it lands right at the back of the soles of the feet. Roll for damage.
Okay. That is 6 on the first one, 8 on the second. Fire damage.
Okay. Does that. Halsterian.
Well, I'm gonna do what I do best. That's gonna be missing my attack rolls. No, gonna do the Eldritch Blast.
All right, roll at disadvantage. It is prone. Mind you, it is a huge creature. Sir, how did you miss this whale? The broadside of a whale.
Wait, you said roll at advantage or disadvantage?
Technically, it's disadvantaged because it's prone, but because it's also a giant creature, it is giant as like its size stat.
Mm.
You know what? That would not be cool giving you disadvantage for that because it's quite literally huge. Like,
No,
how did you?
I was just confused because I thought you normally got advantage when something was prone.
On melee.
It's only on melee.
Hey,
Ranged is
that
disadvantage
makes more
because it's
sense.
normally a smaller target.
It's like, how did I miss the broadside of a whale?
All right, so normal then.
Just normal. I'm sorry I went to that exposition, but I had
That's
to.
all right. No, I wanted to figure it out. So the first one is 18.
That'll hit.
Second one is 19.
That'll hit.
All right, so the first one's damage is 9.
9.
And the second one's is 8.
Jesus, you guys made this thing a fucking pincushion.
We don't want to get hit. It's gonna hurt.
Yes, it will.
And I'm going to use Misty Step and get the hell out of there. Bam.
Eldritch Blast is cantrip. Misty Step is bonus action.
Bonus action.
Cool. All right. You take both your hands. You immediately bring them up. You have your hands in the easy. Bang bang. Fire it right off. And it hits the side of this thing, and you see the welting and the scarring scorch marks on that this Eldritch Blast had done. It hurt. It hurt it. Now it's the Hill Giant's turn.
Fuck.
Oh.
That's why I left.
Immediately, one hand down, the other hand down. It starts getting up, and it gets up. But as it does, Spleen. It goes to grab you. Make a. You know what? Make a dex check.
Dex check.
Because you were considered a small creature and this thing is giant. It's just to see if you can get out of its grasp before it gets to you.
Alright, dex check. That is 15.
Cool. Whack! It grabs right onto you. As it does, it's going to turn around. It sees Howard. It doesn't see Bryony. It's just because of where Bryony's located. It's just one of those, like, it's right up against one of the walls, so you were able to see it while it was prone, but now that it's up, you can't see it and it can't see you. Howard? Whoosh! throws Spleen right at you.
So I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna use my reaction to cast Featherfall on Spleen. Listen, after the griffins, the panic that went through the brain of, oh shit, it almost took off
my
with
God.
her. This is a big bitch.
Okay.
Just
So-
in case.
Okay. Your reaction to do it, you would have done it as soon as it grabbed. As soon as it grabbed her, because you kind of figured it was going to do one of two things. You can do that. You cast that. But that is your reaction.
Yes.
Because this is technically a falling action, this is a through the air.
That's why I
At
said I don't
such-
know.
Such great force. Like, on the parabolic, or the parabolic way of
Parabolic.
things. Is it
I
parabolic?
believe.
Mhm.
I believe
Parabolic.
so.
Parabolic.
Yeah, the parabolic
Tomato,
things.
tomato,
Just it's the effect of gravity on a thing. So in turn, you kind of made this thing more of a bullet at you because it's going across, not down. You're not causing any sort of wind resistance.
It was
from what-
it was a test to see if it'll help.
Does
Oh.
a 15 hit?
No, thankfully,
it does
because
not.
of mage armor. Also, we
Oh,
gotta
wait, him.
stretch.
Oh, you're talking about me.
You'd never cast it. You'd never cast mage armor from the beginning of the day.
Oh, I never did say it. I just kind of figured I was keeping it up. But
Like me with rage,
let me.
dude.
It's 15. So yeah, that'll hit me
It's
without
something that
mage
just-
armor.
All right. Okay, alright. Back, shoulders back, double chin. Thank you for the stretch.
Ah,
Now, how do I roll damage
14.
per spleen?
14 without.
Mm-hmm.
How do I roll damage for spleen? Alright, here's the thing. I'm gonna take the damage dice that the rock would do.
Wait,
And-
the rock bouncing.
Both of you would take 13 points of damage. And that, for spleen, you would still have that halved because it's bludgeoning. It's just pure bludgeoning.
Would that
So
be?
that would be 6. Half rounded down, which would be 6. It does so. Jeez, that round. It uses its movement to get up. It can still move a little bit, so it takes 2 steps forward towards you, Howard. Whoops. 1, 2. And with that, I would say that was his action to do the grapple and the throw.
Okay.
It's only fair. There's no bonus action it can do with that. So that is that. Spleen, if you want to move yourself over at Howard.
Yes. Wrong tab. Oh,
Actually,
God. Okay.
with the hit, you guys would get thrown back a couple feet because it's just the pure impact and strength of a hill giant.
Mm-hmm.
So something like that. You got knocked back 10 feet. As you do that, that hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up and starting to move. Bryony, you can now see it. It is ugly looking. And also, Bryony, it is...
sorry, what?
It's your turn.
It is. So I'm going to cast plant growth, to cause the plants around the giant's feet to grow and slow him, if not stop him.
Okay. So you're casting plant growth.
Yes.
Just take a quick look at the spell.
I believe it's a 3rd level. Yes.
Whoops. Note to self: when googling plant growth, put 5e instead of actually getting the technical terms of plant growing.
Yeah. I imagine Google would not be very helpful.
3rd level in a specific area. Medium long-term benefit. Use one action to the point. 100 foot. All normal plants become in a 100-foot radius become thick and overgrown. The creature must be either spent 4. Okay, so rough terrain. You can exclude any one or more areas of. Okay, so you can choose where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I like that idea. All right, so you see a goblin get flung at your at Howard, and you realize this is not going to be a fun time. So immediately you call upon the ground, call upon the plants in the ground, pray, do a quick prayer or meditation or whatever it is that you do to call upon them. As you do, you say, "Bro, just one word." And as it happens, giant roots start coming out of the ground. The trees in the area start welling with this arcane magic that you just called upon it. As these roots start coming up and they start thatching in around the giant's foot, the footsies, feet. And as it does, it starts locking in and locking in around its knees. It's trying to move and it's not doing it. Awesome. Is that your so that was your action? I like the use of the spell, by the way.
Yes.
Movement? Any sort of movement?
Is there a point I can move to where I'm less I'm gonna move back here.
Yeah. You can do that.
Because I still want to have the giant within my range of vision, but maybe just get back a little bit. He's smelly.
Yeah, he is definitely smelly. So if that's the case, spleen.
Yes. Right
You
back
just
to
got
me.
you just got your ass chucked
Mm-hmm. Mm.
by this hill giant. So, what do you do?
Oh.
Basically,
Oh.
and you're on top. You're on top of Howard. You basically like you're on top of Howard, or you're on top of Howard's shield, which is on top of Howard.
Ow. Oh, my back.
You also cannot speak common if you are raging.
Really?
Yeah. Lower lower level barbarians are unable to speak any understandable language. It's only until later they actually can be able to speak while raging.
I didn't
Oh
know
man.
that.
Okay. She is going to pounce off of Howard.
And that'll be half your movement to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because both of you would be considered prone doing that.
Yeah. Boop boop. Beep beep. Okay, so I have 20 feet left, and that's actually approximately what the distance I need to get to. It's a giant.
Yeah, and remember there is the plant growth right at there, so you would be technically walking into into rough terrain, difficult terrain.
Okay. So rough terrain all around it. What about the trees here?
Uh,
Actually,
yeah, there's trees there.
mm,
So like, the trees there are swelling because of the plant, because of Bryony's call to nature,
mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
so that's why the roots are coming out as large as they are.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um.
This thing is looking quite bloody. Just saying. You guys fucked it up with its with the surprise and the first bout.
Okay. Question is, I did spend half movement getting up,
Hmm.
but can I? Let me scroll down to Goblin. No escape. No, no, I can disengage and hide. I want to hide. Am I still
What are you trying to do?
able to make a dash action?
Mm, you can still do the dash action. You wouldn't be able to attack
Yeah.
because you're not a rogue, where
Mm-hmm.
it's used as a bonus action.
Mm-hmm. What she wants to get rid of on him again. What would that make my movement? If I'm already half as 20.
So you have 40-foot movement because of
Yes.
so it'd be 20. You have another. You would say it'd be about 15 before you get to rough terrain. So I would say you could move technically your full movement,
Okay. Yeah, I
bringing
want to
you
move.
just within reach.
Yeah, like right here.
Yep. So bring it in. Go for an attack if you need to.
I can still attack?
Well, you haven't used a dash action.
Oh, shit. Oh, I thought I had to use. Oh, wait.
You
Oh,
never used it, so
oh, now I'm confused.
Wait,
Okay,
where
without.
where's the rough terrain start?
Yeah,
uh, draw tools. I don't use tools on this thing.
yeah, because I'm imagining it like, I guess, where we're engaged around his
Like,
square.
you see that?
Okay,
Something like that, generally.
okay. But I would need to use my dash action to make it up to him. I'm bad at
Yeah,
travel math.
yeah. You know what? We'll do it like that.
Yeah.
I was giving you a freebie on the first, but all right.
Yeah, it may be confused a little bit because it wouldn't add up right,
It's
I
okay.
guess.
All right, go for an attack. Oh wait, no, you can't
Oh,
do that. Never mind.
no, we
Never
can't.
mind. No,
Yeah, I was
no.
like, what?
Okay,
That was a reflex.
That's my
that
turn.
was reflex.
That's my turn.
Cool, Howard.
Oh, we're gonna get up too, and move back. We've got 15 feet left, so we're gonna back the fuck up, cause that was not pleasant. And against my better judgment, we're gonna try this one more time with the catapult.
Okay. So that'd be the remaining meteors. Oh wait, no, it's just the one.
I have 3 left, so it'll be one of the 3.
Yeah. So make a make an attack roll, no proficiency. It's and it would be with your spell modifier, but just
Yeah,
without
just without the
proficiency.
proficiency. So that'll be 15 to hit.
That'll hit. So, you immediately get up. You immediately get up. As soon as Spleen gets off you, she runs right back into the fray. Does. You immediately roll over. You get up. You have your meteor still on your shield. You're like, oh, this thing is standing up again. I've got a better shot now. Forward, hit your shield once again, fires it right off, and as soon as it does, hits dead center right in the chest. You see the burning and the searing just happen, and as it does, you just hear.
So is it
Roll for damage.
both the catapult and the meteor damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're using the catapult as the means to make it attack instead of using the catapult or the meteor's natural state of making it make a dex save. You're launching a thing at it
Cool.
instead of it being something launched at it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it becomes dangerous if I miss because then it's an AoE that launches somewhere.
Yeah,
So
it's like
that's
it's the difference between a crossbow and a trebuchet.
I rolled max damage on the ball, so that's 16 bludgeoning and 12 fire.
Jesus! 16 and 12.
Yes.
Okay, that's 20
28.
damage. I am too tired to do this math by head.
Mm-hmm. It says 28.
It is 20. I'm talking about doing the damage
20
that's already been
HP it
done.
has left.
There's more math than what's going on there, Traz. Just think about it.
Oh my gosh.
And then we'll launch the last two meteors with
That
the
would-
bonus action. So that's just a dex save.
Can you do that? What?
It's a bonus action to. That's up to you because I'm technically combining spells, so we're venturing into that crazy territory that we were talking about.
I'm gonna say because it took a lot of effort to try and use catapult via
I
another
fully
spell.
understand.
I'm gonna say, like, even though yes, you've already cast the spell and it's a part of what meteor does.
I get it.
I'm gonna say no.
Then I am ending my turn.
You're ending your turn. Hal.
All right. Well, I mean, at that point, I don't know. I'm just gonna have to set it on fire.
Not the
Solid
feet. We
plan.
need the feet.
Well, luckily I'm higher up where I'm at. So, let's see. 1, 2. Yeah, that's still in range, 15 feet. So I will go ahead and do Burning Hands.
Burning hands. All right. Do it up. What do we got to do?
It's a 15 DC Dex save.
As you reach out and cast, it's basically kind of like cone of fire, sort of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You reach out, you do your burning hands movement, crossing them and bringing them forward. As you do, he turns around, he sees it coming, and he tries to take a step back. As he does, he kind of like pseudo trips and
Stumbles.
and so it only just clips him. Roll for damage. Is it? He makes his save.
He does, huh? All right. Well, I do have damage still.
Trust
Yep.
me, this thing has a -1 to Dex. The fact that I saved is bothersome to me.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Let's see. So that's 21 damage. Halved, so that's going to be
That'd be 10.
10.
Hal, finish it.
Whoa, yeah!
How do you want to roast this?
You want to roast this?
Just reach up with both hands, bring them together, and swoop.
Oh, heck
As-
yeah.
As you do, it still misses, but it clips it. It clips him in just enough power and raw energy called upon by your deity and by yourself for it to actually trip back down as it's burning, lands into the thatch that was around its knees, and just fall down, lying still and motionless. Oddly enough, it smells worse than a tire fire.
Didn't think about that.
And with that,
Gross.
I'm going to end tonight's game.
Oh.
I want to thank everybody for staying out a little bit later, hanging out with us. I want to thank D&D Beyond for sponsoring us and having our character sheets all prepped and ready to go. I also want to thank Heath at Lucky Dice Cafe in Huntsville, Alabama. Around, try and have a game with him because, dear God, he is one amazing man. But with that, I wish to say goodnight. It's still a pandemic out there, so remember to wash your hands, social distance, wear your mask, and just love each other. We need to just start loving each other a little bit more. But with everything that's happened tonight, I must ask you one question. Do you dare to imagine? Have a good night.
Have you ever fought a dragon and stormed its mountain lair? Have you ever killed a vampire and seen the evil in its glare? Have you ever sought adventure and couldn't find it anywhere? Well, here's the answer to your call. We don't wanna die of it. Adventuring company. Come leave behind all your cares. Adventuring company. Come with me and see what's out there. If you wanna be a hero or a demon in disguise, if you wanna steal a spaceship and sail across the endless skies, if you wanna live a story and you're down to have some fun, come on and join the Dire Bears. There's a game for everyone. Adventuring company. Come leave behind all your cares. Adventuring company. Come with me and see what's out there.